Incident Response 101. What to do when you get hacked. Today, we'll talk about a forensic guide of how to survive a data breach, a step-by-step guide for the first 60 minutes of a cyber attack. If you run a digital first business, your data is your inventory. And right now, there are two types of companies in this particular world. Those that have been hacked and those that do not yet know that they have been hacked. And when you realize a data breach has happened, whether it's a ransomware locking your files, a compromised business email, or a sudden drain of digital assets, the absolute worst thing you can do is to panic and start deleting files. This is how a contained incident turns into a total business collapse. In my experience conducting digital forensic investigations and managing enterprise IT operations, I can tell you that the survival of your business is decided in the first 60 minutes. As I mentioned earlier, today I'm going to walk you through the exact step-by-step incident response framework that you need the moment you realize that you have been hacked, or the moment you realize that your systems, your network have been compromised. No jargon, just the protocol. Now let's dive into this, and I hope you are excited as I am to share this particular knowledge with you. The first step is containment. And as the medics will say, stop the bleeding. Human instinct will say that if your machine is infected, you immediately turn it off and wipe the hard drive. Please do not do this. Do this instead. Isolate, but do not amputate. If you turn off the machine, you will destroy the volatile memory. That is the internal hardware component called the random access memory, aka the RAM. This particular memory holds the exact footprints of the attacker. If you wipe it, you are burning the crime scene, and we don't want to do that. Instead, disconnect the affected devices from your network. This can be achieved by pulling off the Ethernet cable or turning off your Wi-Fi. If you run a purely digital, shopless operations relying on cloud tools like the Amazon Workspace or software as a service platforms, SaaS, you will immediately revoke active session tokens and force a global password reset for all admin accounts that you manage. You are locking the doors here, but you are keeping the lights on so we can see what the attacker did. The second stage you can do is the forensic audit. Once the bleeding has stopped from the medical point of view, we move on to the audit phase. Think of your network, that is your network logs, exactly like a financial ledger. When an accountant finds discrepancies in books, they don't just guess no, they don't guess. They trace the source of the transaction. They trace the history to determine the source. So you also need to approach this with an investigator's mindset. We are looking for patient zero, so ask yourself these particular questions. This will help you narrow down the search. The first question you have to ask is, how did they get in? Was it a phishing email that a contractor clicked? Or was it an unpatched vulnerability in the API connecting your workflow automation tools? Do this further. Look at the firewall. Look at the logs. Look at email server access logs and the active directories. But the question is, why are you doing all this? Why? The answer is simple. You are looking for anomalies such as logins at strange hours, massive data transfer to unknown IP addresses, or new admin accounts created out of nowhere. These are what you are looking for. And until you find the entry point, you cannot guarantee that the attackers are completely out of your system. You can't guarantee that. The third stage is communication and the erosion of trust. This is where most technical founders fail. You can fix the servers, you can fix the connectivity, everything. But if you mishandle the communication, then the erosion of trust will kill your company faster than the malware did. Depending on where your customers are based, especially if you are dealing with US and UK clients, you are being guided by some strict legal obligations such as the GDPR and the state data breach laws. Do not try to hide this, please. Be transparent, but be precise. Tell your clients and stakeholders three important things. Now, what happens is the number one thing: what specific data was exposed, and exactly what steps you have taken to secure the environment. These are what you should tell them. Trust is maintained through competence, not through silence. Step 4 we'll talk about is eradication and hardening. And this particular eradication and hardening happens only after you have preserved the evidence. You have found the entry point and you have communicated with the stakeholders. That is when you move to eradication. With hardening, you wipe the infected systems. After that, you restore from clean backups. And then finally, you patch the vulnerabilities. Business continuity is very necessary. Having used all the right investigative approach and applied security or incident response mechanisms. But recovery isn't just about going back to normal. No, it's not about normality. It's going back to a hardened state. If you are running a lean business, look into deploying zero trust network architecture. Mandate hardware security keys for all admin users or all admin access that you can have. And also finally, you automate your backup protocol using non-code triggers. So human error is removed from the equation entirely. Getting breached is a nightmare, but surviving it is entirely a matter of protocol. If you treat your infrastructure with the same rigor that you treat your finances, you will actually recover from this, surely. And if you want to learn how to build secure automated workflows to run your business operations globally, please hit the subscribe button. We'll talk about intersection of enterprise tech, finance, and digital operations every week. Stay secure, and I'll see you in the next video. Have a nice one.